Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to Toonkind at 12 frames per second. I am Authorticity. I will be playing a whole new character who will introduce themselves. I am joined today by the wonderful, the lovely, the fantastic, the infamous, and wonderful. I think I said that twice.
Me just catch me crying in the club right now. I'm Wick. And I will also be playing a new character who will, at some point, introduce themselves.
So we start our story by the ocean. Actually, it's we start it by one of those river outlets. You know, where like a nice like woodland creek empties into the surf, and it's a pretty nice day actually. It's sort of a shady area, and the sunlight is dappling the ground. There's bird song. There's squirrels tearing around. It's sort of that like perfect like you could walk to a town, but also no one's bothering you. And I think the beginning shot is a body floating in said creek. Wick, how is your character doing today?
So my character is doing great. They are currently floating down a river. And just they're vibing. Just vibing.
They are vibing. Can I ask, face down or face up?
On the one hand, face down is really funny, but on the other hand, I will say that I do like that image that you gave of like when Eeyore is floating down the river. So like they're just gonna be floating like that.
God, it's not much of a tail, but I'm kind of attached to it. Anyways, I'm going to roll a perception.
Cool.
What's your perception, fella? What the fuck?
What is my perception?
Okay. Nope. That's a dirty 20.
That's a dirty 20.
Alright, Carol hands over from this Eeyore sort of fella to someone who's sitting in the copse of a very small tree. But as the longer we look at this person under a tree, the more it looks less like the tree is little and more like this person is very large. Like it's a regular sized tree with a absolute unit underneath it. And they like they were sort of just like leaning against the trunk, sort of staring contemplatively at the creek. And oh, hey, look, there's a person in the creek. Oh, there's a person in the creek. God, if it's another drowned
into the river in like a city.
Yeah, like they sit up and they like, okay, and they're just like, God damn it! If this is another drowned person, I swear to God. And they'll stand up all the way up to 11.5 feet, and they'll just walk over.
Excuse me?
You heard me?
What?
You heard me?
You don't just... God forbid we forget the half. 11 and... I am just sitting here.
I will say that like 11.5 is like at the scalp. Like it's the hair is probably also another 6 inches. So do with that what you will.
Bruh.
Actually, once your character like locks eyesight with them, I'll post the ref. Credit to Magic, of course, for the ref because they're a delightful person. So yeah, they're just gonna go over and sort of wait for this person to float by where they're standing, and they'll lean over and go, excuse me, are you all right?
Should I roll perception, or they're just addressing them and I'll figure it out?
You can roll perception. Low DC, but like I think it's really funny if like they get a 1 or a 2 and they fell asleep.
Well, they got a 3.
They're like
they are just.
I'm sorry, my dude. You are sleeping.
Yes, they're just asleep.
Well, this figure sort of thinks about this, and they they don't have like a problem touching dead stuff, but like also like it was in a creek, so I think they go and they like get a branch, which I'm not going to make them roll for because they're in like the woods, and they're just sort of like gonna poke. Ken, would you be alright describing this person who they have found half submerged in a creek?
Yes, I would like to.
Excuse me, one sec. Hold that thought, my cat's here.
Your cat?
Come here, you little embarrassment to a society.
Don't. There is a cat? My heart is going. Kitty. Kitty. Oh, kitty.
The cat has been ensnared. Anyway, apologies for that.
Oh, the kitty.
Yeah, it's... Sorry, if I didn't like chase after him, he would have just screamed.
Oh, no.
God. Anyways.
So, this body, who you recognize to be a real kind like yourself, they are just, this is, mind you, they are probably about half your height.
Delightful.
I mean, you can imagine most people probably are, but they're about half. I mean, probably less than half. They're about like 5.5 feet tall. So,
all right.
It just appears to be a real kind satyr who is wearing like a polo shirt and like has like this thick curly hair on their head, and they are just snoozing. They're just snoozing.
Huh. Okay. Oh, there he goes. The figure who has been contemplating this person actually like looks taken aback at this, and they like take a sec. It's like, could it be? No, I think he was shorter. And they just sort of like poke. Should I don't know what to roll for poking.
I was like, should I roll something to get this guy up? Like,
I mean, you could roll perception with advantage. You could, I could roll, I don't know, let me look at the stats.
That's a good question.
Funny version, athletics. Funnier version, persuasion.
Wait, for you to roll or for...
No, for me. Or you could roll.
No, I mean, I guess I don't know. I never had to wake up a sleeping person.
I mean, we could just say that it does it.
Yeah, listen. You poke him enough times, eventually he'll probably get up.
Inevitably, one does have to get up.
Yes. And much to your surprise, this body does kind of blearily open their eyes. I would like to make one check though.
Sure.
So I mean, I can see what you look like and stuff, right?
Yeah, they are leaning over you like a kid with a dead frog.
Oh, okay.
15.
They just mutter something, and then he goes, "Oh, hi."
He sees before him an 11.5-foot undead half giant who looks very concerned. And let me post the ref so you can see precisely what he's seeing.
And as you, oh right, okay, let me take a look before I say anything. Perfect. I might say it anyway. So he's looking up.
May I say what they look like for the recording?
Oh yes, go ahead. That way the listeners know.
An undead half giant with sort of a blue skin, sort of a strange tan line across their neck, wild brown hair that's just like it looks almost as if they're underwater, but like the salt water dried in it and now it's just frozen in like an underwater thing, like very poofy. And part of their face is gone, but the skull's there. Obviously, it's held. The jaw's held there with a bolt. And coming from the skull, where hair would be, is some equally crazy kelp. So it looks like they have sort of a cool like dyed situation going, but no, that's seaweed. And they're looking at you. They look very concerned.
Man, they look cool. Me as a player going, they look cool.
I push forward magic because it's their art that we're looking at.
Yes, well, man, good on you for making the character out there. Good on you, Magic, for making the ref.
Gosh, I need to figure out how to put images in OBS now. Jesus. But yeah, it's what you do. What you doing?
So that previous role was to kind of determine what this person is, because they were not very sure. So you kind of just hear this guy go, you're not an angel, are you?
No. There is an argument to say that, I'm not a demon. I suppose that would be the polar opposite, but, no. That angel I am not. Are you
I thought
okay?
So. Huh?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but you're floating in a woodland stream, and you appeared to be unconscious. Can I call someone? Are you good?
This guy just holds up a thumbs up, like, it's par for the course.
Is it though?
Yeah. I was trying to get something, and then I fell in the river. And now I'm here.
You fell in the river.
Yes.
And now you're here.
Yes.
Alright. Well and they sort of like they stand up and they put their hands on their hips and just sort of think about this for a while. And they sort of like they rub their neck contemplatively and go, did you get it?
Did I get what?
The the aforementioned thing that you were hoping to get before you wound up in equally aforementioned stream.
Oh, right. Right. uh, yeah, I got it. But he's saying that, but his head is just shaking no, like, I didn't get it.
You remind me of someone that, well, doesn't matter who you remind me of. Would you like some help? And they sort of shake their arms out demonstratively. Long limbs, It's I make a pretty good ladder from time to time.
He kind of looks a bit lost for words, and just goes, oh, okay, if you want.
Would you like to get out of the creek first? And they're sort of like,
Great.
they're sort of looking at you. They're just like, huh.
Okay.
I think that they're just gonna bend down and just sort of fish you out and lay you on the grass as if like you're a damp towel that needs drying.
I have to say, when you pick this man up, he completely just kind of just ragdolls in your grasp, and then you just plop him down.
Yeah, they hold him at like arm's length because like they have sort of an LJ thing going on already. They're not like sort of like ew gross, but they are just like, huh, you were just in like a woodland stream. I've seen streams before. They're really something.
They sure are.
So you probably have like tannin stains because like in creeks they just sort of turn into like tea from like the leaves that fall into them. Oh, hello?
Sorry, I took one look. My mic didn't pick up, but I took one look at his character sheet and went, "Oh, I didn't give him prestidigitation."
Well,
oops. Anyway.
Oops the doodle.
Anyway. So now he's just sprawled out on the ground.
I think they just
he does not move.
I think they'll just sort of sit next to him and like just sort of drum their heels against the riverbank, just like enjoying the day. This is a pretty happy-go-lucky individual.
Me as player, I like them. But it's kind of a bit of a moment, but then you hear this man speak up. So if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing here?
Oh, well, I'm traveling to the port town. We're trying to rustle up some new shipmates. We seem to have a merchant ship on our hands, and only 5 people. Well, it's 7 now, hopefully, if the contracts went through, with which to man it. So, I'm I'm meeting my first mate there in a couple days. There's no rush, and she she knows to expect me to meander a little bit. Uh, and they sort of like they sort of like they shrug like this is an individual that they don't seem to have too much like urgent business on their mind. Like it sounds like they have some stuff, but like they're just like yeah.
And all he does is go, and then he just goes quiet.
I think like a few more minutes of silence pass, and they go. I'd be Coriolis, by the way. Captain of the Vengeful Dead. It was funny when picked the name out. You would be?
And there's just a beat of silence before he kind of turns his head towards you. You can call me Pidgeon.
Jesus. You ate already. You're such a little con man. You're a con man. You're a disgrace to society. You're a liar. Pathological, that's what you are. He's fine.
He's fine.
I think they sort of look at him and they go, Pigeon like the linguistic phenomenon or like the bird?
What? There's and he actually sits up now. There's a what?
Well, when two communities that have the same language, or the 2 different languages, I should say, have to occupy the same space, it comes naturally they'll form a pidgin, which they each use their own grammar, but they exchange vocabulary so they can understand each other, if that makes sense. And if that gets taught to a generation, and they grow up speaking it, then that becomes a Creole. And if the Creole goes on long enough, it becomes a new language.
He has absolutely no idea what you're talking about. He's like nodding slowly, but you can just tell by the look in his eyes that he doesn't get it.
Honestly, like they go on that like sort of this like folksy sort of like tangent, and they start telling you a little bit about like when they were a kid, their tribe had to interact with another one for a while, and it was really interesting because a lot of the words for weapons meant the same as the words for like cutlery in the other language, so everyone got really confused. And like it takes them a good, they just like to ramble. It takes them a good while to just sort of subside, and they're still, they seem unperturbed.
The bird.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And your name was Captain. Captain?
Coriolis, of the Vengeful Dead. Again, it's a joke. If you can call me, well, you can call me Corey. I prefer Coriolis, but yeah.
Okay. Coriolis.
Mm,
It's nice to meet you.
they stick out a hand to shake. While you are like prone on the ground.
Well, he did sit up, but he's still sitting on the floor.
Yeah, they're like sitting next to him.
Question. Is Coriolis wearing any, like, gloves, or...
Uh,
I'm just curious.
I haven't thought about this. I don't think they would on their downtime, no. They might have, like,
Okay.
some work gloves. They understandably do a lot of heavy lifting on their ship. But, it... one of their hands, like the one that they aren't sticking out to shake, a couple of the fingers are a little skeletal.
He will go ahead and give a handshake. You notice when he does, though, he is wearing gloves. They just seem like plain gray, slightly bulky gloves. Maybe they're a little big on him, but he wears them anyway.
Well, makes sense. Satyrs are faking, so probably has to be careful of iron. Well, at least that's what Coriolis is going to go ahead and assume. And I think that they laboriously get to their feet. They move very much like they have some back problems.
No.
But they get to their feet and they have a good stretch, and then they look back down at you and they go, could you use some help?
Help?
Getting up.
Getting. I'm okay. And he kind of just, with a little bit of effort, he kind of stands back up as well. He is still pretty sopping wet, but...
Yeah, like there's probably like gross decomposed leaves on him.
Yes.
Is this like a young individual? Is this like an older gentleman? Like middle-aged? Like it's, you don't have to give...
You can tell that this guy is probably like in his mid-20s.
Alright. They give him another like long look, just like, But yeah, they don't say much. And I think that they sort of like look upstream, as like looking for any sign of what this individual might need like help getting.
I love that.
Listen, they are like, they're a sea captain. They're just like, all right, let's do this. We're solving problems today, folks.
Can Pidgeon tell that that's what they're looking around for, or?
Yeah, I mean, like they're not, nothing about this individual was subtle. Let's be honest here. Like they're like, they're doing the thing where like you shade your eyes to look. They might turn to him and go, so, You trying to get something in particular, or just like a cool apple that you found?
uh, I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because hold on, let me roll something.
If this is goddamn history to remember.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's a dirty 20,
you have a
whatever
feeling
it is.
he's thought about something, but he's able to kind of cover it up. You can't really tell. Yeah, no,
Could they
that's
roll
deception.
insight? Could they roll insight, though?
Go ahead.
Alright, Hey, Coriolis, what's your insight? You weird bastard. Oh, that's pretty good. I forget I gave this guy wisdom.
I said this one is why.
Yeah.
50.
He is inscrutable. Anyways.
Inscrutable. I will tell you though, as the player, he is. When you said apple, his brain just went, apples. He's trying not to have like a dreamy look about him, like, apples.
Listen, apples are very good.
Yes,
God,
apples.
I hold this weirdo so soft, Wick.
This weirdo. Yeah, he is a weirdo.
Listen, I'm playing this character and you're still out weirding me.
Yeah, in fact, Pidgeon turns to Coriolis and goes, you don't have to worry about that. It was an arrow. That's it. I mean, I could get another one. I just thought it would be nice to get it back.
I mean, I'm alright with getting your arrow for you. If it's high up, and they stretch an arm above them, which they could if they jump, they could probably get 20 feet off the air with one hand.
Bruh.
It's like, do not let this bastard play basketball.
I don't think they would let them. But he kind of slowly blinks and just goes, I mean, you don't have to help. You said you were going somewhere. So.
Well, sure, but in a couple days. I get distracted a little easily. Let's just say that. Hey, what's that for, Wick?
That's a history check. He's trying to remember what the arrow looks like. He cannot.
Coriolis. I think Coriolis will ask. So, is it in a tree? Were you on a cliff? I don't know,
And he's just thinking back. And he just kind of goes, he kind of just lets out this sigh. You don't have to worry about it. I can find it. I mean, for all I know, this could be it. And he just picks up a stick. It is quite noticeably a stick.
I mean, Coriolis looks at the stick. Doesn't look like an arrow. Is it I think they second guess themselves. They know what an arrow looks like. Yes, they know what an arrow looks like. And I think they
Are you sure about that?
I think they
I'm kidding.
God. They actually kneel down in front of you. Like sort of so they can be sort of conversational heights. And
so they kneel down?
Yeah. So like it's a very practiced motion. Like you kind of get the impression that they have to like at least kneel down to talk to most folk under 6'8". And they sort of like
they understand that you did that because of the height difference.
Yeah,
he goes, wait, you don't have to do that. He kind of looks around for a moment. No, you can stand back up. I can just climb this tree, and we can just talk like that.
Well, that's very kind of you. It's an old habit. Let's just say that. You can roll insight on that if you like. But they.
That's a 19.
Fuck, that is a 19. They look a little tired when they say that. Like not. Like it's. Whatever memories they're like accessing when they say that are probably not particularly happy ones. And again, they sort of like they scratch at the weird tan line on their neck. And they they go, well, I don't want to be pushy, but really I have nothing better to do. Trust me, if there's one thing that being dead teaches you, it's that it's the little things that count.
You're right. It's the little things. So, you can stand back up. I can just go up here. And he's going to attempt to climb this tree.
Can they just ready in action to catch him?
Yeah, you can. All right, that's a 9.
A -4?
Yes.
Wick?
You read that right. That's a -4.
Why have you assassinated your boy like this?
Look how they massacred my boy.
God.
He attempts to climb this tree, which is going surprisingly well for like the first, minute or so. Probably less than that. Maybe like the first 30 seconds. But then as he's trying to get a better grip, he slips.
Yeah, he plunks right into Coriolis' arms, which are, very big and beefy. And they have been outstretched underneath him this entire time because they're pretty sure this individual isn't drunk, but also they're kind of getting vibes. You don't trust like that. Let's just say that.
You think that this man is drunk?
I mean...
Would you like to make an insight?
Sure.
Or investigation, whichever is higher for you.
Let me check, actually, because I might have given this fella intelligence as well. Investigation is better. Actually, yeah, no, I'm in the right sheet. Investigation is better. So, 24. Tell me
24.
Tell me your satyrish secrets.
Despite all of the red flags going on, this man not being able to coordinate himself, falling in the river, talking like there's nothing going on, despite all of that, you do not, you don't smell like any alcohol in this man. And you could tell That, by the way, he kind of like looks up and goes, "Oh, sorry, thanks." Yeah, no, you can tell this guy is stone cold sober.
I mean, they're just like, all right. Be like,
he is just like that.
I mean, they think about some of the characters that they have in their crew, and they're just like, you know what, this tracks. It's like, you know what, this is significantly less knives than their first mate. Like, this is a positive interaction so far. And they just sort of like maneuver him so that he's like right side up, and just sort of gently lower him onto his hooves.
Is he being lowered onto the ground or into the tree?
Onto the ground. They're just like, you know what? Maybe he'll not like want to go back up. Maybe we can just have some good ground time. One with the earth, that stuff.
All right, that was a. Oh, I used the wrong modifier. Great. So that's actually a 7. Not much better.
Telling me that wasn't a wisdom saving throw not to climb the tree again.
That was a wisdom saving throw to not climb the tree. He's gonna proceed to try and climb this tree again.
Well, why is it? Why don't we just both sit down again? How's that? And then fuck.
I even used acrobatics this time. That's a 2.
Once again, should I roll this time, because this time they were trying to dissuade him. They were not necessarily posed to catch him.
Go ahead.
Alright. Let's see, that would be acrobatics, athletics. Actually, they're both the same modifier, actually.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say you can just use whichever.
16.
A 60. Good.
Yeah, they just like
barely makes it up like a third above the.
They're just like, oh.
It's actually he made less progress than he did the first time.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, okay, careful. Here we go. Why don't you just? And they will like take him a few steps away from the tree before they like set him down. Just like, this is fine, really. It's how I talk to my family. It's home-like. I don't mind.
But you do mind, though.
God.
I can tell.
No, learning to kneel was it was a tough lesson. It was it was a matter of necessity. Let's say that. Not how I was brought up. But it's part of me now, and I can live with that. Really, you are very kind for wondering, for caring. But no.
So they rolled deception, and he got a 4.
And he got a 4.
You can tell. I'm not gonna have you roll insight. That's. So as soon as you say though that he is kind, he actually gets rather flustered. He's trying not to show it, but it is rather apparent.
Yeah, they just sort of give him a good pat on the back, just like, yeah. A very careful pat on the back, because their bag takes up probably a large span of his like shoulder blades.
And he actually kind of stumbles forward a little bit, but he's okay.
They're being careful, no. And they like
it was one little stumble. It's not like he would fall over.
And they're just like, no, really. Why don't we see about your arrow?
I mean, personally, I don't really need the arrow, but it's probably best if we get it, just because it's part of the establishment's equipment.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit at the end of that sentence, Wick.
He said that it's part of the establishment's equipment.
Well, yeah, that you gotta bring back what you ran, I suppose. Which establishment, if I can ask?
I'm sorry, my brain shut off for 3 seconds. What did you say?
Coriolis said, that makes sense. And they asked which establishment.
And he kind of gives like a half smile. I don't know if you're familiar with a shooting range.
Not particularly personally, but I'm aware of the concept. Yes.
He just kind of nods. Cool. I should find that thing. He knows what an arrow is, don't worry.
Sure. Anyways.
Sorry.
I mean, they're just like, What shall we go?
He nods. It shouldn't be too far. I mean, where did I fall in? He's trying to remember where he fell into the creek, because that's kind of important.
God.
Oh,
I mean...
But he remembers that, apparently.
Lovely. Good job.
When you roll survival and expect to just not, and then 17.
Also, by the way, Wick, like just so you know, his name's Pidgeon, and he works at a shooting range.
Well, I'm glad somebody got that.
Like I was gonna save that for the after party. But I was like, you know what? No, this goes on recording. You're a bastard.
Well, thank you. Though I will say, for recording's sake, there's actually another reason why he's named that way. But we'll unpack that later.
Cool.
But he kind of just points in the previous direction. I think I remember where I fell in.
Well, I suppose the only way forward is to start walking. Suppose that's something of a family motto, let's say. Are you okay to walk? You were floating in a stream about 15 minutes ago.
He kind of just he gives a thumbs up. Yeah, I'm good. That's deception. You want to roll insight?
Sure. Buck.
Well, yeah, no, this guy, even though he's a bit damp and kind of weird, he's okay.
All right.
I will say though, for you as the player, he is fine with walking, but he's just kind of cold because he just got out of the creek and he's still a bit wet, so he's just a bit cold.
All right, they will be checking in periodically. I apologize, Pidgeon. You have found a wild sibling in the woods. They're used to taking care of folks. You stop that! You stop that! Don't look at me with those big old eyes.
Look at me!
I swear by all the gods that he's eaten. I swear it. Anyways.
He does look a little sheepish though, as he looks to you. I'll try to. You don't walk fast, do you?
I do all right, actually. And they bounce around a little bit on their heels and they like demonstratively. And they move pretty well for like someone that big. Like it's actually a little bit upsetting. It's like something that big should not move that fast, but here we are.
Here we are.
And they yeah, they just sort of they go, well, why don't you lead the way? Don't worry so much about me. I got the usual 60 feet of movement. You are a tiny little criminal. Hang on.
Oh, I just hear the little kitty.
He's actually a normal-sized kitty. He just sounds that way.
Oh, he just sounds that way.
Mwah. I hate you.
Oh.
This is a lie. I actually love him, but don't tell him.
No, it's I hate you, heart emoji.
Basically. Anyways, if Pidgeon is ready, I guess they will set off down the river.
I will just take your insight from before because he's not really hiding it. He looks from you to the path, then down at himself, then back to you, and you make the connection that he doesn't walk very fast, and also he's afraid of slowing you down.
I think they set off at a very amiable sort of an amble, sort of as you would take down a woodland path. They're sort of trying to be subtle about it, but they have slowed down.
And so I think Pidgeon will lead the way, albeit again a little sheepishly because he knows that he's slow.
Oh, not goatishly?
You just grab me.
You'll have to catch me first. Anyways.
But and you can tell though, even with your ambling walk, he isn't too far ahead. You actually have a pretty short distance between the two. But this man is trying his best.
Gosh. Yeah, they will be very careful not to walk past him. And they start off like as sort of to make chit chat. They start off on a tale about their little sister, something like they don't specify, but like her name is May, and she wants to be a bard, and she's got a recital coming up, and they're very proud. And like just sort of like talking about how much she's been practicing, and it's sort of just filling the air.
And occasionally he will turn back a little, like turn his head just a bit and nod, like yes, he is following along with the conversation.
Yeah.
But I will say, that actually isn't too bad for him. What he then attempts to do is turn around and walk backwards in order to face you while you're talking. But he does stumble a little bit as he does so.
Yeah, they'll go, maybe not.
That's, you're right. I think maybe I'll just... And he just turns back around. I can't lead the way like that anyway.
Very, very sensible, yes. Indeed.
But as he says this, he takes a few more paces and then stops. Right there. And he kind of just points to a spot, which isn't too far from where the two of you are. So I dropped there. So it should be... I was attempting to cross the river, so it should be around here.
They will examine the trees on the other side. That be investigation?
Yeah.
All right. What's your
and you know what? I think he'll investigate too. I can't read. Okay.
All right, that's a 12.
And that's a nat 1.
He falls back in the river. No.
A man has fallen into the river in Legacy.
God.
That's a -1. Oh no, I know exactly what happens.
What?
He doesn't fall back in the river because this is an investigation check. However, yeah, the two of you start looking around. And I will say the DC was pretty low for this. You see something that appears to be an arrow that is stuck in a tree. However, Pidgeon is distracted by something, namely a couple of apples that are on the ground from one of the trees. And you just see him just looking at it like, apple.
I mean, can Coriolis just sort of like roll a quick investigation on those apples just to make sure that they're not some sort of, I don't know, apple mimic?
Man, imagine if I pulled apple. Roll for initiative. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck. God.
No, it's not. It's not an apple mimic. I will just use your investigation from the. As far as you can tell, these apples look fine. One of them looks a little bruised, but otherwise, yeah, they just look like normal apples.
Well, that seems fine. So they'll go, oh look, looks like your arrow.
Wait, huh? And he looks, his attention is torn away from.
They will point at arrow.
Yeah. That, right. Yes. That is, yep, that is, that's the apple, I mean, arrow.
God, I have no idea if that was like in that was on purpose or not, but that was masterful. Yeah, they'll just be like they'll sort of like clap their hands together and like, well, time to get down to business sort of way. And what obstacles are in Coriolis' way of getting this arrow down?
So, all right. So since I'm thinking it's the like opposite side of where they are, there is a small path like of stepping stones, like to go across the river. And then it isn't actually too high up on the tree. It's about like a third of the way up. And in fact,
within
for
arm's
reference,
reach for
it's probably. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You keep going.
Oh no, I was just saying it's probably about 10 feet up, but like you're 11 and a half feet. So it'll be a piece of cake for you once you make it over. But
so what should they roll to get across those stepping stones?
You could probably either roll like acrobatics or athletics, or if you just want like a dex check, that's cool.
I'll roll acrobatics, sure. 18.
That's 18.
Yeah, they have sort of when they're trying to keep their balance, they have sort of an interesting like sailor's gait to how they walk. Like this is an individual who's been on the ocean for a while, and like it's in everything about them, the way they move, the salt water in their hair, and they sway and jive their way across and look at this arrow, and they take it out.
And Lynx, I thought I was gonna roll real bad, but he got a 16 for his acrobatics. So I guess what really helped was him watching how Coriolis crossed the river. And so he kind of looks from them to the stepping stones and kind of imitates it. Or at least tries to.
Yeah.
You swear at one point they might fall, but they don't.
Gosh.
He's okay.
They just sort of like...
He kind of...
Like, they grin at him. Like, just like, you did such a good job, friend. And they present the apple to him. Or, god damn it, wow.
That's what he's thinking.
I'm gonna take a sec here. They present the arrow to him with a flourish.
Thank you. And he takes the arrow, which, by the way, is pretty much just like a normal arrow. Like, there's actually nothing real special about it. Well, except for maybe like a small ring of like color that's near the end of it. You have a feeling that's probably just like an identifier of sorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks up at you and gives a thumbs up. Thanks.
No problem, friend. They give him a thumbs up back, just like, indeed, we did a good job. And they look and they say, I don't know which direction the shooting range is from here, but I assume it's on the other bank, given that you were originally trying to cross.
As you explain this, or you're trying to puzzle this out, that was a whiz save. He is now going for the apples.
All right, the apples on the opposite shore.
You're right. Let me roll.
Can they attempt to grab him before he goes back into the drink?
Yes.
Let's see. Would that be a...
He immediately darts to go, trying to go back across the river.
Does a 9 cut it?
To be fair, this guy... You know what? Roll it again.
Sure.
Only because you have helped this man twice. You've helped him out of the... And then you also caught him twice climbing a tree, or attempting to. So I feel like you're familiar by now.
Yeah, they're sort of expecting mayhem. Yeah,
So you're able to grab him by the back of his shirt.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, all right, here we go. It's easy. Here we go. Back on dry land. And they will, like, I think they tuck him underneath an arm like a tote bag and just sort of like, should they roll to get back across?
No, I'll just use that 15 that you have.
Yeah, they sort of like, they set him down next to the apples. While he's sitting, they'll kneel down so that they can, still see his expression.
And he kind of actually has this look on his face. I guess it's so, like, for toons when they get kind of like a starry eyes, they have like a starry look.
Gosh.
Just like a sparkly. Well, I mean, he's not a toon, but that would be exactly how he's going. And he's like picking up a couple of the apples. He's just kind of looking at them. And apples.
Yeah, I think that they sort of just like, huh. So that's a 1 and a 6.
So I attempted for him to roll with history, and I wanted to roll with advantage, and, well, he has a 6.
All right.
And he excitedly, like, he picked them up, and he's showing a couple to you, and he goes, all right, so this is a Macintosh, I think, and he kind of squints at it. And then this one, wait, would it be the same? Would it? Probably.
Coriolis will look up into the tree to see if they are, in fact, did they come from the same tree or not?
You can only assume that they come from the same tree. They were kind of all near each other. And, when the apples kind of just fall down, I mean, they could roll a bit, but there are only a couple trees in the area, which all look pretty similar, by the way. There are only a couple that could have given these apples. So.
Yeah. I think they'll just sort of nod seriously, just like, Macintosh. We never really had many of these. They look mighty good, though.
Immediately, he offers one to you.
They take it, and they hold it, and I'm going to roll. Let's see here. What would this be?
I was like, you're going to roll what?
I'm going to just go ahead and roll an insight. Or a history.
Okay.
That's a 19. So they
19.
They sort of hold it and admire it for a sec, and they go to bite into it, and they're like halfway between like where it was in their mouth, they're just like, oh right, I'm dead.
No.
And they sort of like, instead they sort of like toss it up in the air and catch it and like admire it for a while.
And I have to say, God, this is going to be so stupid. I love it. even though you are not as familiar with apples, you, I would say that with that 19 with your history roll, you identify this apple. You identify it as a Granny Smith.
Mm-hmm. They will say absolutely nothing.
Perfect.
God.
um, but he sees you kind of toss it and look at it a bit. Did you want another one? Or?
No. This one's fine. I don't eat anymore, but it's a very good apple.
He, he's not hiding it right now because he's distracted by apples. But he kind of has a look of shock and then a look of like, what is it? Like, he looks a little guilty. I forgot. You can't eat.
No, it's really fine. I do eat a little bit well, kind of, but it's not the it a lot of fish in the diet. Let's say that a lot of seaweed. Um, and
He will make a mental note of this.
Gosh. And they actually they contemplate this apple for a sec and they go, actually, could I ask you a question?
Yeah.
My crew and I, we are we've been we have been looking for a missing member. We don't have their real name, but we called them Beacon. They long curly hair, it's green and silver eyes. Also real kind. It anything. It's a long shot. I know it's quite all right if you don't, but
what was the name that's given, quote unquote?
Beacon.
Beacon.
As in something that shines in the dark.
That's nice. Well, I mean, I'll have a roll history, I guess. That's an 11.
Yeah, it's been. You haven't heard of anything or anyone called Beacon. Whether that's a name, a title, you know, long curly hair, that could be anyone. Green and silver eyes, I mean, a lot of Fae have weird eyes. Maybe he has like an elderly uncle with green and silver eyes, but that's probably not who they're talking about.
Actually, he kind of blinks a moment. How tall?
Little bit shorter than you. It's well, I think we didn't see him standing up much. But yeah, very small, like very small, short, very short.
Okay, so it's not that. I didn't think so. Then again, you never really saw that guy's face.
Which guy?
There was there was this Baron guy that sounded similar, but he always wore a mask, so I don't think it's that guy.
No, it's this would have been well, perhaps he wore a mask. It's good. I mean, it's as good as lead as any. Would you happen to know where I might find this Baron? Where does he rule?
And he kind of mulls about for a little bit. I mean, here, I'm gonna actually have him. Okay. So, all right, here's the weird thing, though. I mean, he doesn't have curly hair, but maybe that's a wig. But he, like, died, like, years ago.
Oh.
But, I love it, but, usually he'd hang around, you know, Toontown, sometimes Knick-Knack Town. And now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I saw him, like about a week before? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's his brother or something, but maybe someone's copying him.
They are...
Or maybe... And then he stops.
I mean, I think Coriolis has been hanging on to your every word. Like, they flinch when you say that he died, and they start to ask a question, but then they hush themselves. And they... they actually... they go, well, I think I am living proof that, no one's dead until there's a body. Let's just say that. Could you...
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was gonna say, if he's like you know, he could be undead. Who knows?
This is very true. You know, there's... I know plenty of... most of my family's undead. Well... Toontown, Knick-Knack, okay. It's...
I mean, the shooting range is in Toontown, so...
It's, we can... We've been looking for so long. Thank you. Thank you, Pidgeon. This is... well... Yeah, it just... You'd be surprised how many performers are out there that... Yeah. And they look so tired. What's that 19 for?
That's a deception roll. I mean, if you want to roll insight.
I mean, sure. Why not? Do they have any excuse to have advantage?
Go ahead. Dice Purser said 13 and only 13.
Dice Purser said you'll have your number and like it.
Wait, I'm curious. Roll it again. If it's 13, we stay. 23!
23!
23. 23.
I mean, does that count?
I will let it count because it'll be funny. He is trying not to look kind of happy with being able to help. So, like, he's trying to hide it, but you can tell, like, the cord kind of, like, the corner of his mouth just wiggles a little, like he's gonna smile a bit. He's trying to hide it.
God, I hold this character so fucking soft, Wick. Yeah, they give him a good broad smile. They have a nice smile. And they go, well, the one thing that we know about him was wonderful singer. So Knick Knack is full of entertainers. I'm sure we'll find hide in our hair of him.
A singer.
Mm.
And he kind of looks a little pensive.
One of the best you've ever heard. The reason that May is so dead set on being a bard in the first place is hearing him.
Huh. You know, did he ever used to sing? I mean, he could have.
I mean,
but he kind of just shrugs.
Yeah, they go, well, it's perfectly possible that he doesn't, sing anymore. It's things get connotations as time goes on. You can roll insight on that.
Don't mind if I do. That's a 14.
I mean, it's above a 10. I mean, it's you kind of get the feeling that whatever they're at the period of that they're looking back on as they talk about this was not a particularly happy one, but they're being careful not to let themselves sort of fall too far into memories.
Yeah. It looks like he's going to say something, but then doesn't. And instead, he then perks up. Well, since you helped me, I don't mind helping you.
Oh, well, gosh, I don't think we need much. I don't suppose you're much of a sailor, are you? It is okay to say no.
I'm just thinking, like, you can tell that he's thinking rather hard. I mean, I haven't sailed, but there's a first time for everything.
Well, neither did Sharky, and he's one of my other family members. Now he is a professional sailor. He's a ship's engineer. So, I mean, if you ever want an apprenticeship, look for the Vengeful Dead. Ask for Captain Coriolis or First Mate and Quartermaster Nona. Or look for a toddler named Lemna, who's trying to stab things, or a little orc girl who's singing, or a gnome with a bunch of shark teeth. We're a pretty distinctive bunch. People will have heard of us, of it, like one way or the other.
I have to say, as you say this, he actually he pulls out like a notepad and a pen, but the notepad is still kind of soaked. But he's trying to write it down because he's gonna remember.
They actually they pull out their own. They've got it looks like a little logbook, and they pull out a sheet from the back of it, and hand it over.
Oh,
it's like, why don't you take this? It's all right.
Thanks. And he kind of nods like, yes, this is what I should do.
Yeah,
but he is going to note down everything.
Captain Coriolis, ship quartermaster / first mate Nona, undead toddler trying to stab things, singing orc girl, and gnome with shark teeth. sound like
Nice.
And of course, they are looking for the good ship, the Vengeful Dead. Parentheses, it was funny when they picked the name out.
Yes.
Yeah, and they... Gosh. They look pretty pleased. Like, yes, we are out to find more crewmates, and I have found a crewmate, potentially, if he remembers.
I don't know if there's anything else you wanna.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good place to.
Yeah, to just.
Yeah, to end it. I think I've got a little bit of an epilogue, if you'll indulge me.
Yes.
It. When they finally part pass, Captain Coriolis of the Vengeful Dead, sort of like they go back, downstream past where they were sitting, and they head down to Toontown. And as they go, they're rubbing their neck, and they take off their coat, and the shirt that they're wearing sort of swoops down in the back. You know how it's like a boat neck, and
Yeah.
you can actually see across their shoulder blades the last thing that the camera sees is, it looks like they have some sort of tattoo of song lyrics. Can't really make them out, but they have been needled very, very, very carefully, as if whatever this song says, it must not be forgotten.
Damn.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Damn. Ow. But also, I know that that's the very end, but just indulge me for a moment.
Sure.
I don't mean to put an epilogue. I just want. Do you think you could roll one perception check?
Absolutely, I can roll a perception check. Let me make sure that's the modifier, because I've already forgotten. It is! Good job, me. That's a 1, folks. That's a 1.
Well, I mean, but with the modifier, it's an 8.
I don't think modifiers count with well, I'm not going to argue myself into a natural 1, although that is a natural 1. But yeah, they don't see Jack. Does the audience...
don't see Jack.
Does the audience see?
What?
Does the audience see?
I guess so. Because, as they had been walking into Toontown, someone on the opposite side of the street passes by, wearing a rather nice-looking suit, hat, and a mask. But I still want to keep intact that the camera stops on that tattoo, because I'm looking.
Cute.
But anyway,
yeah.
Thank you very much for playing with me.
Thank you. This was, I feel like I kind of jumped you out of the blue, but this was delightful.
Yeah, it was fun.
Gosh.
But listeners, present and future, thank you for listening. I think we can all wish them a good time zone.
Absolutely. Take care, folks.
Yay.
Bye.